car hammocks. Do they really work? Well, this one's been a mixed one. So as you can see, I've used on my Caravelle the fixed awning point over there and the fixed awning point over there, and then over I've got a point there and a point there. So I had these things on my Caravelle already. So what I did was I unscrewed it, got a webbing strip about longer than that, folded it in half, pushed through the screw, and then I had a loop. I then got from Screwfix the carabiner that's 120 kilo rated, so it'll take me easily on one point. And then, oh, and by the way, the webbing loop, I sealed the ends with a heat source. You can use a flame, but just make sure it doesn't burn it. So I've then got my hammock. Now my hammock is a standard hammock, but because it was too long for the space I've got between point A and point B, because it was too long, I shortened it by doing these loops here, where I've got the webbing, and as you can see, it's screwed, it's sewn in, and then I've got loops for adjustability, which is why I've got longer loops up here. And as you can see, I've got two car seats either side, and I'm slung in the middle. This is a VW Caravelle, and so you can see I've got the bits up there that's going through the headrest, and then I've got this bit up here going on to what is basically a bit bungee cord, just for faffing around with the back. And the black straps, in case you're wondering, are part of a luggage. Well, they're designed to go across the back top here, but a lot of us are using it to stop the luggage falling out the back when you open the back. So how successful is it? Well, I can slide down enough so that it's comfortable to do that. So yeah, that kind of works, but I'm still working on it. So I did that late night, as you can see with the stitching. It's not quite right, and I'm still working on it, but it's quite useful for having a rest or a nap. And again, you can slide around with it and adjust. Getting in and out is a bit interesting, but because it's either side of two car seats, it's quick and easy for me to put up. So when I am stuck and I can't put the seat down, and that way the seat isn't long enough, I need an extension anyway, and that way the seat isn't long enough when I'm 5'6" to lie across, and I've got two car seats, and I've got my wheelchair not folded down, and I've got my tri-ride, and then of course for those of us who need it, I've got my, where is it, down there, oh, it's underneath the coat, I've got my emergency loo. It's quick and easy to set up, which is exactly what it's set up for. I'm having a really nice, I've got the flexibility to adjust to what I need. I'm sat in a hospital car park because I don't do well sitting in the queues, so at least I could rest up, I could keep mobile, do what I need to do. It's not good enough to sleep in, but it's certainly good enough to have a rest. When I first made it, the kids used it as a storage solution but chucking all the teddies and the blankets in. But you often see people talk about having car hammocks, and most of them are in the USA. I'm in the UK, obviously, for my accent. I am British, and so so I'm now faffing around with it. And one of the things I want to tweak is the head end's pretty much sorted. It's the tail end, and I've got some ideas for that, so they'll come in a later video. But one of the things that I've been asked by people who've seen it, spoken to me about them, is how comfy is it really? Now, I have hypermobility, so my joints dislocate, so being able to rest them and change position is amazing. It's not so good as you can imagine. You know, your bum's down here and your legs are up there, and it's not quite right with the angles, and that's something I need to tweak a bit. And obviously this is not the most flattering position, but for someone who had to get barely had any sleep last night, to make sure I didn't miss leaving at a sensible hour in order not to get stuck on the M25, aka the biggest car park. So does it do the job? For me, yes. It gives me somewhere I can stretch. it gives me somewhere that is not sitting in a car seat with those limitations. It allows me to rest my legs if I need to. It allows me to change position. You know, I can curl up on my side. The leg end I have not got right, but the head end I have. And that can be enough sometimes. And when your legs are tired sometimes, or you've sprained them, they often said, rest, elevate. This is sorted for that. So in that respect, this is brilliant for that. And the here is quite good for resting. Haven't got that quite right. As you see, it's tied in. It would be better on having a loop. But it does work well if I slide down more so that that's there. And that works really quite nicely. So as you can see, my legs have got a bit of a sling. If I can get my knees in that section so they're not being squashed with that, that works even better. This strap effectively isn't long enough and ideally would drop down lower. So I've got ideas for that. And as you can see, I can still move around, have lots of flexibility and change my position. And for someone who hypermobility is a big thing, the ability to change position is absolutely huge, because we do seize up, and if you're having a bad day, movement is good. Staying in one position has caused half the damage. I've got the flexibility. This is a stand. So what did I buy? So I had the webbing. I had a big 10-meter roll anyway, so I just had, it's about that wide, so I think that's a 25mm width webbing. I need a meter for the 4-foot hooks. That'd be more than enough. You need the £6 pack of 120 kilograms carabiner hooks. They were from Screwfix, so again under a tenner. And then this, and you come with 6 of those. And then this hammock, it did not come with the blue strap. This hammock, which, let's have a look. Has it got a brand name on it? There you go, that's that one. It was cheap on Amazon. I think I paid like £12 for it. It's got its main section in green and it's got the edges, which I like the idea of. What have I done to it? As you can see, I've sewn a channel where I have, let me hang on, sit up a bit where you can see it. So, as you can see, what I've done here is I have folded it over, so you've got the back channel goes straight up, comes in, and then I have sewn either side once, and I've made a channel, and then I have done what we would call rucksack, a cross section there, so that this doesn't rise up too much, because I knew that I wanted to be able to have a wide bit for sitting. And as you can see, I did sections so I could adjust the hooks. There you go, you can see the grid much better there. And then you've got the adjustability there when you need it into a normal hammock mode. You've still got the original, which is one of the reasons I like this one, there. And I could try tweaking it and adjusting with that. So I've still got ability in it. And depending on when I slide myself up and down. Now, does the seat affect the hammock? Yes, it does. To be aware, as you can see, it's there. But a cushion in there, in that gap, makes a huge difference. Or just changing the way you angle back more like that, it's not a problem. So it's there if you angle or adjust the wrong way. But depending on how you adjust yourself, works perfectly. So this is my car hammock, and I love it. And I'm working on it to make it even more comfy. I mean, part of the problem is I have 2 small children and a wheelchair, and having had to camp once for 2 nights with the seat down. Now, it was great because although I needed to use the wheelchair, I didn't have to play with the car seats in between. But when I get back, I've got to use the car seats for the kids tonight. I had to use the car seats for the kids yesterday, and I was originally thinking about driving to where this hospital appointment is nearby, staying overnight, but that didn't happen. So I left ridiculously early this morning. And the car seats, great invention. But they get in the way when you're doing it. Now, these are the Chico fold and go. So they do fold in half, which is genius. and is amazing. And they were like under about 150 quid when I got them. And then when the idiot hit us, they were 174, replacing them at Halfords. So, but yeah, they're the Chico fold and go. So they fold in the middle, so they go down. But you still need somewhere to store them. And we have 2 of them. So if they go in the front seat, okay, that gives you space. But as you can see, my back's quite full of stuff. And although this seat here, there you go, you can see the seat there. Although this seat raises up when it folds down, you've got to clear the boot enough to be able to drop it down. Great in one way, pain in the butt in another. And if it's raining, you've got that problem. And sometimes you don't want a big rest. You know, so for me to have a rest, which is why in a shame it doesn't do a 60-40 split, because I could drop the 40 down and have a rest. But when it's not long enough that you've got to, so the last time I slept in this, I ended up using the wheelchair turned around and having a cushion on it, because although the wheelchair's roughly the height when it's in seat mode, when it goes up into bed mode, the wheelchair was lower, so I had to put some cushions and lift it up. And then it was just long enough with the wheelchair as the extension. But it was such a faff, and so many spoons, because anyone in the chronic world knows that you've got the spoon theory, that it was like, this has got to be a better way, which is why I looked into the car hammocks, or well, rather looking at other options, looked into the car hammocks. And to be fair, it works. For what I need it to be, which is that short term, I need something to rest, relax in, where I can't sit up. I don't want to go and sit in a coffee shop, particularly it's post-COVID. You know, some of those seats aren't comfortable. It's energy because you've got to sit up. And like now, I was able to have a cat nap. So that's what I have this for. I have this for when you need a cat nap and when you need to have a rest, and it doesn't take too long. I literally have 4 hooks, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have to put those up. The hammock lives in the boot, so just get it out of the boot, click it up. And half the time I leave those 2 buns up, particularly if I know I'm going to use it again in a short period of time. And so that's that. If you've got any suggestions for if what you think maybe might be worth a try, I'm happy to try it if it's easy enough to do, and see what I can play around with and what adjustments might work and improve it. I'm happy to try it on your behalf. This is a single hammock, it's not a double hammock, because obviously I wouldn't fit 2 of us in here. I have had one of the kids on me, it's taken the weight of that. So yeah, it works. And of course the other advantage it has is I can use it as a seat. So I can have it up and I can sit. So if I'm somewhere nice and it's a doorway, I can sit in this and have a thing. Although it's not supportive on the back. So again, you know, it's not got full adjustability, but it's got enough. And to me, it's got what I need for now. So what would this cost to replicate? So if you've got a £15 hammock, say 20. If you've got the £8 pack of carabiners from Screwfix, the webbing, a couple of quid for a metre, and that's buying it in your expensive shop. And then some time on the sewing machine. That's if you want to do the bits that I've done. So I did the wide hammock straps and stitched those in because I didn't want to. But is you could replace that. See how that one's got that one? You could make that one because there you go. That's the normal hammock ending. So you could use that and open that up and then use that and then effectively have the wide thing. And I did play around with that. The only problem with it is I was so close to the floor. Because can you imagine, it's extra from there to there, add that extra fabric in and repeat it the other end. Yes, I was very low down and it wasn't very comfortable because my legs were very imaginative. It was funny. So you've got to play around with it. It's a fairly straightforward sewing stitch. you could tweak around with it. If you had further forward hooks. Now, one word of warning I would give you is that somebody about using the handles and then taking this bit off and unscrewing them. I did that. And now one of mine won't screw back in properly. It's like it's ruined the screws. So yeah, I'd be cautious with playing around with the hand grips. But there are options, and it's about what's working for you. See, that's the £10 curtain. I've talked about what I've done with the curtaining. It's dropped at the moment because the screws got knocked out. Thanks, kids. But as you can see, I've still got the the IKEA finest fleecy curtains, because I couldn't get the grey ones, and I've got my side ones there. I've got my solar panel in the window. It's only a basic one, but it's good for charging up a phone if it needs to be. And I've got my little solar panel that I use for charging up my power bank that lives in my car. So I've got 2 solar panels. I've got the kitchen in the, if I want a hot cup of tea, I've got my 12-volt kettle heater in the boot, which will run off the power bank. I've got the basics. And it does me enough. It's a Caravelle WAV. It's got the lowered floor. Excuse the mess. It's got the lower down here. So you see this is the normal height. And then they've gone down that much. And they go across all the way down there. And then there's a little shelf that your feet rest on when they're on the pedals. So it's literally, that's called the low floor for the Colorado version. And then underneath the door, this side door, is a ramp that comes out underneath. So that's a bit of a update where I'm at with this one. Some of the things I've done. I have not yet been able to do the pop top, which is a bit of a pain due to what happened with the accident and the ongoing disastrous insurance company situation with the other side, and the knock-on effect of some problems from the repairers, the insurance approved repairers. So I'll put that in another update, but that's where we're at with this. I have quite a while to go before my appointment, and I'm enjoying resting in the sun. It's not too hot, not too cold, nice and peaceful, and I hope you enjoyed the update. In the comments, please like, subscribe. Constructive feedback's always welcome. I am new to this. I am using my phone. That's my tech, and I'm trying to give content that I would find useful watching. So please ask questions. Questions are always good, and see you later. Thanks for watching.